All right, this is 373, week 6, part 10. It's the final bit for the day. Wow, I'm doing really good at this. Okay, let's take a look what he has to say here. So Cominius says, so the point is that Coriolanus was so young when he fought. And of course, we'll talk more about this later, but his mother, the reason Coriolanus is the way he is because his mother made him the way he is, and she sent him off to war when he was really too young. 16 is really young to be at war. He didn't even have a beard. Um, yeah, okay. For ancient people, the beard was really the symbol of like adulthood and manliness. We have kind of other, we have like that you turned 18, you're a man. They kind of, it was for them, it was a beard. He bestrid an overspread Roman. He bestrid an o'erpressed Roman in the consul view slew three opposers. So he's like climbing over people and being awesome. Tarquin's self he met that day and struck him on his knee. I have to tell you, for years I misunderstood that line. He met Tarquin, but like this is like the leader of the enemies, and he struck him on his knee. And in my mind, I thought that meant he stabbed him in the knee. It is not. And then I was reading the Shakespeare book and I found a footnote, and I was like, oh, I misunderstood that for years. It does not mean that he stabbed him in the knee. He met Tarquin, and it means he struck him on his knee, means he hit him so hard the dude fell to his knees, which is, of course, a symbol of surrender. Okay. I mean, I just wanted to point out, like, even though it's not like I understand all the Shakespeare all the time, there's bits where I'm like, what does that mean? Okay. In that day's feats, when he might act the woman on the scene, hey, that's the same phrase from Macbeth, but he could cry. He proved the best man in the field, and for his meed was brow-bound with the oak. This is like to put oak around your head was like an honor. It's like essentially like it's exactly the same as getting a medal, like in the Olympics. Actually, the medals in the Olympics have plants on them because of this. His pupil age man entered thus, he waxed like the sea, and in the brunt of 17 battles since, he lurched all swords of the garland. For this last, before and in Coriolis, let me say I cannot speak him home, meaning I can't say what he really deserves. He stopped the flyers, and by his rare example made the coward turn terror into sport. Like he was having a good time. He was having fun. Shit, where did it go? Oh. Oh, I love this imagery. This is so great. As weeds before a vessel under sail, so men obeyed and fell below his stem. I just think that's such a beautiful image. I'm going to read it again. As weeds before a vessel under sail, so men obeyed and fell below his stem. When a ship is coming into land, there's often weeds by the water, and the ship is huge and the weeds are small. So as the ship pushes into the river, all the little weeds bend like this as the ship pushes in and lands on the beach. Coriolanus is so powerful that when Coriolanus enters a group of people, they all fall over dead. Basically, Coriolanus versus an opposing army is like a ship versus weeds. They all just fall over. When the ship comes in, all the weeds just flop over because the ship's so much bigger and more powerful. The next line is also really beautiful, and I fucking love it. I love Shakespeare so much. I thought I would be tired of it, and I never get tired of it. His sword, oh, this is one of my favorite lines. His sword, death stamp, where it did mark, it took. From face to foot, he was a thing of blood, whose every motion was timed with dying cries. Oh shit! Look at this shit. I got fucking goosebumps. I can't. Can you see the goosebumps? No, I guess they went away. All right, whatever. Anyway, it's fucking cool. It's a cool line. I'm reading it again. His sword, death's stamp, where it did mark, it took, and from the face, trying again. His sword, death's stamp, where it did mark, it took. From face to foot, he was a thing of blood, whose every motion was timed with dying cries. So, like, from his face to his feet, he's covered in other people's blood. Alone he entered the mortal gate of the city, and this is about how he ran in by himself and beat everybody alone, which he painted with shunless destiny. Aidless, he got no help, aidless came off, and with a sudden reinforcement struck Coriolis like a planet. It does sound like a planet is crashing into it there, but that's not what that means. To strike something like a planet, in my mind I picture like Mercury crashing into Earth, but that's not what they mean. To strike like a planet is to strike like a curse. It's the idea that like the planets control fate, and so to strike like a planet is to strike like a god. Oh, this fucking speech is so fucking cool. God, I love Shakespeare. Now all's his, when by and by the din of war gan pierce his ready sense, then straight his doubled spirit requickened what in flesh was fatigate, meaning tired. He was tired, but he woke up again. And to the battle came he, where he did run reeking o'er the lives of men, as if 'twere a perpetual spoil. Until we called both field and city ours, he never stood to ease his breast with panting. Worthy man! He cannot but with measure fit the honors which we devise him. Our spoils he kicked at and looked upon things precious as they were the common muck of the world. So he doesn't want any reward. He covets less than misery itself would give. He rewards deeds with doing them. That's important. He rewards his deeds with doing them. What is the reward of being a soldier? Being a soldier. What's the reward of killing? Killing. For most people, they're killing for money. They're killing for women. They're killing for praise. Oh, fuck, I lost the sentence. But for him, he rewards his deeds with doing them. It just like the deontological ethics. He doesn't do it for a reason. He does it because it's good in and of itself. He rewards his deeds with doing them. The reward, for Coriolanus, the reward of war is war. That is, it's its own reward. War is its own reward. He doesn't want money. He doesn't want women. He doesn't want power. He doesn't want to be a senator. He doesn't want praise. He just wants to. He just wants to be himself, and nobody will let him alone. You can see here Coriolanus is complaining about why he doesn't want to beg people for votes, to brag to them, thus I did and thus, to show them the unaching scars which I should hide, as if I had received them for the hire of their breath only. See, he got the scars because he loves fighting. But if he says, I got this scar helping you, it makes it seem like he did it for them, and he hates them. And so he doesn't want to do that. Okay, cool. This is going really well. Excellent. I'll give one more little bit here. He's saying why he doesn't want to beg for votes. He goes out and tries to talk to the citizens, and they're kind of pissed off because he's being kind of rude. And he says something really interesting to them that I really like, actually. He says to them, you should account me the more virtuous that I have not been common in my love. Like they're like, you don't love us. And he's like, you should think it's good that I don't just freely give love. He says, I will, sir. I will, sir, flatter my sworn brother, the people, to earn a dearer estimation of them. 'Tis a condition they account gentle. Meaning lots of people, other politicians will tell you lies. He says, they're like, you're being really rude. And he's like, you should like me because I'm being rude. Other politicians, they tell you lies. I'm not going to tell you lies. I don't fucking like any of you people. And that should make him trustworthy and good. He says, and since the wisdom of their choice is rather to have my hat than my heart, meaning they want symbols from him, but not what he actually believes, I will practice the insinuating nod, being nice to people, and be off to them most counterfeitly. That is, sir, I will counterfeit the bewitchment of some sort of popular man and give it bountiful to the desirers. Therefore, I beseech you, I may be consul. He's basically like, they're like, you're being very rude. Don't you want to like beg us for votes and be nice to us? And he says, you shouldn't trust people that are just trying to be nice to you. He says, those people are lying to get your votes and whatever. This is the tricky thing about Coriolanus. Whatever you want to say about him, he's trustworthy. He can't lie. I kind of like that about him. He's complicated because, how do I put this? Maybe he's not the best person, but he's always himself. And I kind of admire that. Wherever he goes, he can't help it. Even when being himself will get him fucking murdered, he has to be himself. And even though he's kind of a dick, so he's always true to himself. That's a line from Hamlet. He's always true to himself. The problem is he's an asshole, so when he's true to himself, he's kind of a terrible person, but I also kind of respect the fact that he's true to himself. We're done for the week. That was Coriolanus week 1. Thanks for joining me. I will see you guys next week.